Hi guys, and welcome back to another Champions League prediction video. Now before we get into the predictions, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new. We're trying to get to 200 subscribers by the end of the year, so you can be the difference in that, you can make it happen. So make sure to hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss out on another Champions League video. Last time out we didn't manage to get any scores correct. There were a lot of good results that, I predicted the result, but I feel like it's always the same in the Champions League. The results are a lot easier to get because there's always big gaps between teams in the group stages, but the scores are very difficult because a lot of games end in high scores, so it's tough. There was one thing I was happy about. I guessed that Benfica would get a point off PSG. I went 2-2. It ended 1-1. So I correctly called a draw there. I think that was probably the best thing I did. So not much really. But let's forget about last week and hope this one's going to be better. Let's move on to my predictions. And we start off with Group E, where AC Milan take on Chelsea and Dinamo Zagreb take on Red Bull Salzburg. Now Zagreb and Salzburg played last week, as did all these teams. Salzburg got the better of them at home, but now Zagreb are the home side and they have a good home record. In Europe, in the league, they are a good side at home. So I fancy them to get a point in a 1-1 draw. And AC Milan up against Chelsea. Chelsea were brilliant last time out, winning 3-0, didn't see it coming, limited AC Milan to nothing really. I was very impressed with them. I wasn't expecting it, which is why here I would have went for a draw, but after looking at what Chelsea did last week, I think they can do it again. Chelsea to win 2-1. Up next is Group F, where Celtic take on Red Bull Leipzig and Shakhtar Donetsk take on Real Madrid. What happened last week? Leipzig and Real Madrid came out with victories. What are we saying this week? I think Leipzig are going to beat Celtic 2-1, and I think Real Madrid are going to beat Shakhtar Donetsk 2-1. Group G next, where Copenhagen take on Man City and Borussia Dortmund take on Sevilla. Now Dortmund dismantled Sevilla last week 4-1. Very good performance. Bellingham with a goal and an assist, which I love to see as a Birmingham City fan. And I think that Sevilla have their problems this season, but Dortmund, they look good. They got a point at the weekend against Bayern Munich with a last gasp equaliser, and they're looking a bit better than they have in previous seasons, because previously they wouldn't really be good defensively. They've been struggling, letting a lot of goals in, but this season they seem a bit different, they seem a bit better, and I don't think they're going to have any issues here. So Dortmund to win 3-0, and then Copenhagen at home against Man City. I mean, Man City are going to win this. Last time it was 5-0, now Copenhagen are at home. I'm going to go Man City to win 4-0. Group H, where Maccabi Haifa take on Juventus, and it's PSG versus Benfica. I was happy with last week. I correctly went for PSG and Benfica to draw. I also said the same about Maccabi Haifa versus Juventus. This time round, I think I'm going to be smarter. I'm going to go with Juventus, and Maccabi Haifa will probably get a result at home. But Juventus to win again, 2-1. And PSG will want some revenge, so I fancy them to also win 2-1. Group A next, where Napoli take on Ajax and Rangers host Liverpool. Now let's start off and talk about Napoli. They have been incredible. They've conceded 1 goal each game, but they beat Liverpool 4-1, Rangers 3-1, and then Ajax 6-1. Just battered them. They look really good this season. I think they're going to win here again, and I quite fancy them. You know, if they get a favourable draw, to go quite far. Like, if they draw a Man City, I think they're out. But if they can avoid some of those teams and, you know, maybe play like a Chelsea or a Dortmund, I kind of fancy Napoli to maybe progress. For this game, however, I think Napoli are going to win again. This time round, I am going to go 3-0. And then Rangers up against Liverpool. Rangers have struggled. Liverpool have struggled in the league, but they have managed to win the other 2 games other than that loss to Napoli. And I think Liverpool here will win again at Ibrox. Liverpool to win it 2-1. Group B next. Atletico Madrid up against Club Brugge. And Leverkusen host Porto. Now, Leverkusen lost last week to Porto, and I think it's going to be a repeat. I fancy Porto to win this one 2-1. And then Atletico at home this time against Brugge. Club Brugge won 2-0 last time out, and they have been one of the crazy stories of the Champions League so far. They're really good form. They've won all 3, I believe. I have to check that. I should know it. But I'm pretty sure they've won all 3. And they've got quite a difficult group because out of the 4 sides, you'd probably say they'd be bottom. And they've won all their games. 1 win away from qualification. Haven't looked at the maths on that. But I'd imagine 4 wins would get you through your group. But Club Brugge, they've been so good. I don't think they're going to win this one because Atletico at home might cause a bit of an issue. But I'm going to go down the middle, 1-1. Group C now. Barcelona face into Milan. Victoria Plzen up against Bayern Munich. And we'll start off with the latter. Bayern Munich, I think they're going to win this one quite comfortably. 3-0. Barcelona v Inter Milan is an important game, and it's a game that Barcelona cannot afford to lose. They're currently 3 points behind Inter Milan, and if they lose it, 6 points behind, 2 games left, and one of them against Bayern Munich. Barcelona can't lose this, and I don't think they will, because them being at home, I've just got a feeling they're going to do well in the Champions League, but I don't know why. And it could all go out the window so this week, this midweek set of fixtures. But I'm going to go for Barcelona to get revenge on Inter Milan with a 2-1 win. And finally, Group D. Now, I think this is the first group where I am going for two different results than what last week was. Sporting CP faced Marseille. Marseille beat them last week. I think Sporting CP will get a bit of revenge. They did have a red card last week to their goalkeeper. Sporting CP to win it 2-0. And then Spurs up against Frankfurt. Spurs at home. Last week they drew 0-0 away. I'm not really convinced by them, but I think they will manage to get all 3 points here. So Spurs to win 1-0. So those are my predictions for these midweek Champions League predictions. Round 4. How do you think the teams are going to get on? Will Barcelona lose and, pretty much be out? I think that's the biggest game for me, really, because Barcelona going out at the group stage for the 2nd year in a row would be a big shock. Put your predictions down in the comments. Make sure that you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any more Champions League content.